I'm going to ask you first of all to come a little bit closer, but leave me a little gapway so that our guest speakers can get up the stairs. The majority of you in here will know my ugly face. I was told, Martin, this year you're gonna love it. We're gonna bring some eye candy for you. What they didn't tell me, it was eye candy for the women and not me. Ladies and gentlemen, this young man is my co-host. I want you to give him a lot of love. I want you to welcome him to our press launch of the 60th anniversary of Nutmeg Carnival. He's from Radio 1 Extra, BBC 1 Extra, and his name is Richie Bray!
How's everyone feeling today? Come on, man, this is Carnival. Why are you not so stiff? How you feeling today? Come on, 60 years. I was up here trying to keep it PG, the music was going, my waist was getting ready to move. Then I saw kids in the audience and I said to myself, I'll save that for Monday.
Right, Richie, first question. I can see a flag hanging off your waist. Which country do you represent?
I'm coming from Guyana, bye. GT. I tell you, man.
What's your favourite food, Richie?
Favourite food?
Yeah.
Dal curry. All day, every day.
You can tell he's Guyanese, isn't he? Because he said dal curry.
Dal curry and curry.
Right, good. It's a pleasure to have you here. We're going to make things happen today. We're going to keep the thing rolling. Did you enjoy the pre-carnival outside? Yeah. I thought it was absolutely magnificent. Just standing there made my paws raise, you know what I mean? So congratulations and thank you to all our masqueraders that took part in that. It is customary that we kick off the proceedings with a very, very important person, and Richie is going to introduce this person to the stage.
I am. But before I do that, can we have a round of applause for Martin J, please? I think it's always important that we give people their flowers. Martin J has been creating culture for decades. Lots of us wouldn't be in this room if it wasn't for this man here. Can we have one more round of applause, please? You know he likes to be humble, we're not doing that in here, it's Carnival, you know what I mean? This is our culture thing. I would like to introduce to the stage, please, the Mayor of RBKC, Mayor Janet Evans.
Everyone's trying to work together to make
and gentlemen, one more time for the Mayor, Janet Evans. The one thing that I would ask you, ladies and gentlemen, is when we do have people up here talking, could you please keep your conversation to a minimum? There's a word that we're using a lot this year, and it's called respect. And if we could start off, when we have people coming up here and talking, if we could just keep our conversations down low, or you can go outside. All right? We good with that? Yeah! Good. Right. Next important speaker that I'm going to bring to the stage. I am not 100% sure of his capacity in coming up here, but I can tell you that he is an absolute legend within our carnival for many, many reasons. For the things that he's done and for the people that he's helped. And I would like you to give him a warm welcome up on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ansel Wong!
Thank you very much indeed. Despite any kind of advanced planning for Carnival, the difficulty is always something would happen. And planning for this event, I had to have a prelude with some cataract surgery. So I only have vision in one eye, so I'm not seeing blurred faces in front of me. I want to talk about my Carnival and to look at what that impact has had. 2026 marks my 81st year, 58 of which I have spent in Carnival activities. I've been a roti vendor in Acklam Road. I've been a mass performer. I've been a Carnival trustee. I've been a band leader, researcher, activist, and a mentor of many carnivalists. I am 81 not out, and I want to stay in my crease for a number of overs left. I'm bolstered by the defensive brilliance of Jeffrey Boycott and the occasional flourish of the flamboyant cover drive off the back foot of Brian Lara. These two individuals influenced my physical and metaphoric journey, my personal migratory pattern from Trinidad to Yorkshire to the Trinidad-inspired carnival in Notting Hill. And there's a similar metaphoric journey of carnival itself, from Port of Spain, Trinidad, to Notting Hill, London. But there are pit stops along this journey, interconnections. They are well known, but I'm not going to spend too much time by just focusing on one. 2026, this year, is significant as it is an historic convergence of several anniversaries that relate to the Caribbean diaspora. For example, this is the 75th anniversary of the Trinidad All-Steel Percussion Orchestra, TASCO, at the Festival of Britain in 1951. This is the Diamond Jubilee of the Notting Hill Carnival, and 2 decades since Notting Hill Carnival was formally recognized as an English cultural icon. And of course, 2026 is the independence anniversaries of Guyana and Barbados. In the summer of 1951, 11 Trinidadian musicians crossed the Atlantic, carrying an orchestra unlike any Britain has ever seen. Their instruments has been fashioned from discarded oil drums, specially tuned to the chromatic scale, the standard 12-note Western musical scale, at concert pitch. And their repertoire moved effortlessly between calypso and classical music. Their performance challenged deeply held assumptions about our music, about our artistry, and about our civilization. Few visitors to the Festival of Britain in 1951 could have imagined that this orchestra would produce such music and would become one of the most significant cultural transformations in modern Britain. 75 years later, each August bank holiday, more than 1 million people gather in the streets of North Kensington and Westminster to experience the Notting Hill Carnival. Steel bands, masquerade bands, song systems, dancers, calypsonians, artists, street vendors, and communities from every corner of the United Kingdom. Yet there are two events, Diaspora and Carnival. They are very rarely considered together. Diaspora is remembered as an episode in the history of the steel band, while the Carnival is as an outdoor festival, a street party, and sometimes a nuisance to the residents. And in fact, Diaspora, steel band, and Carnival is inseparable. Diaspora introduced Britain to the sound of the world's newest acoustic musical instrument. The Notting Hill Carnival transformed that music, that sound, into a living performance of public space, performance, and aesthetics. Together, steel band and Carnival tell a larger story, how successive generations of Caribbean artists, musicians, designers, and performers reshaped Britain's cultural landscape, and in doing so, helped to redefine what it means to belong, for all of us here, to belong in modern Britain. Together, they are the examples of the arts and culture of the Caribbean, all its diversity. Caribbean migrants, particularly from Trinidad and Tobago, my home country, brought with them not only their artistic forms, but we brought with us a cultural impulse to reshape the spaces we occupy into oases of remembrances, into celebration, into resistance, recreating these spaces we occupy as expressions of our presence, an expression that we would stamp our presence. And remember what we used to say in those days, come what may, we are here to stay. This resounded, found fertile ground in post-war Britain, and that fertility came out of the Notting Hill Carnival. But I want to carry on with my cricketing metaphor to illustrate that. And one of the most memorable incidents was the event at the Lord's Cricket Ground on the 29th of June 1950. We won a test match there by 362 runs against England at the most prestigious cricket ground in the country, Lord's. And in that victory, thousands of Caribbean supporters, led by Calypsonian Lord Kitchener and Lord Beginner, in an impromptu jump up from the hallowed Lord's Hotel. They went onto the pitch, and the stewards moved them out of the pitch. And what Kitchener did, he took the crowd from Lord's Cricket Ground all the way down, out of the cricket ground, past the area of occupation of public space. And this was important because it was not just a test match victory, but it was a foundational moment in the cultural history of the Caribbean. In fact, Kitchener himself said, we would dance in Trinidad style, like mass, and we danced right down Piccadilly and around Eros. A significant incident of the development of Carnival as a Trinidadian experience. So both Carnival and Carnival celebrations were regular features in our lives. So I use that as an example of the elements of how that Carnival concept developed. They were not just precursors of Carnival, but they were inspired by the fetes, the social occasions of the Diaspora. And it was these incidents, these parties, that shaped and reimagined by Caribbean artists, practitioners, and by the community godfathers who helped to make Carnival what it is today. From Peter Minshall to Clarice Solandi, from Claire Holder to Chris Boozman, from Leslie Palmer to Alan Charles, from Dexter Khan to Lawrence Noel, from Vincent Forbes to Lynette Kamara, and from Clyde Phillip to Matthew Phillip, father to son. And our aspiring and young creatives, Marlon Hibbett, Marcus Cumberbatch King, Blair Backus, and the young graduates of Lincoln Art Sound System Futures Program. Ladies and gentlemen, we have achieved 60 years. Yes, 60 years, and we look forward to the next 60 years to begin and to demonstrate what Peter Minshall called Dionysian explosions. Carnival 60, yes. Carnival 120, yes.
I can take this off now. Ansel, thank you very much indeed, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to make a very, very special mention of our sponsors for this event. Hennessy, please give them a big round of applause, please. We've also got to mention Spotify, Magnum, Ray and Nephew, Amazon, Refine 023, Pan Studios, and Grace for the fabulous food upstairs. Can we have a big round of applause, please? Right. On One Extra, what do you do? Tell us a little bit about your show.
I host a talk show. It is the only black talk show on national radio, so I'm very proud of it. There should be more, but that's what I do. Sit down and British.
When you say black talk show, what do you mean?
We talk about black people, black identity, black issues, black music, black reality, black love, black hate, black pain, everything. You name it, but they are.
And what time you on?
9 till 10 p.m. every Sunday.
Check him out. Radio 1 Extra, 9 till 10. We're going to try something after we brought on these fabulous musicians. Alright? What we're going to try could go very wrong. I'm just letting you know that for now, but we are going to try it. But before we get to that, Richie's going to bring them on.
I think it's also important to mention people are struggling to hear at the back. So as was said a bit earlier on, when somebody's on stage, can you please keep the noise down? Those of you who can hear me, as far back as you can hear me, please encourage the people behind you to come forwards, because we want everybody involved. It wouldn't make any sense. We've spoken about the sound systems, we've spoken about mass bands. I played that section in 2021, Egyptian Dream, love that. Still got my wings, I'm out here, you know what I mean? Also big up our wire bender extraordinaire, Carl Gabriel, inside the building as well. Can we have a clap, please? He's such a humble man, you know, but there are key people inside this room. We have to big them up each and every time. As I said, all this, when it comes to Carnival, would not be possible without Pan. Pan is the heartbeat of Notting Hill Carnival. It's the heartbeat of the Carnival sound. And it's a very, very important part of Carnival. One of my favourite parts, actually. So without further ado, I would like to, I would say bring them on, but they're standing right next to me. And you're living my dream, you know, because I tried to do this in school and the teacher wouldn't allow me to, but that's a story for another day. We won't get into my troubles. Can we have a round of applause for Emily Stillman?